It sounds like there are three names on their way to WWE. First, Mike Santana. This is the least surprising name of all. He lost his TNA World Heavyweight Championship to Nick Nemeth last weekend at Slammiversary. After reports that his TNA deal was expiring this month, PW Insider is reporting that he finished up with TNA at the pay-per-view, and he was not scheduled to appear at their TV tapings this past week, which he did not. They say the expectation is that his deal will officially be up sometime in mid-July. I would be stunned if he lands anywhere else but WWE. He didn't exactly leave AEW on the, I don't want to say the best of terms, but he didn't leave with the best feelings. All right, not that he burned any bridges there or anything like that, but he was very unhappy with how he was being utilized. And there's no reason to believe that he would be used any differently if he went back there now. WWE has used him on NXT before. They clearly have an interest in him. I think NXT could be where he lands initially. Most people do, but not everybody. But most people do. I think they could do with him what they did with Joe Hendry, where they give him a run there first as NXT champion to lead the brand for at least a few months before calling him up to the main roster. But yeah, make no mistake, he's main roster ready right now. It's just a matter of, is there a spot for him? If there isn't, then start him in NXT and wait until there is. Don't put him on the main roster and do to him what they've been doing to people like Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace, who are basically MIA at this point. I don't know if a WWE championship is in his future. I don't know if a World Heavyweight Championship is in his future. What I do know is that his story is a great one, of someone who started out in a tag team. He wanted more. He ended up getting hurt. He went through the rehab process for over a year. He got himself into the best shape of his life. He climbed out of a very dark hole in his personal life. He's been sober now for over 3 years. He reinvented himself. He showed proof of concept that he can be a singles player. How high he ascends is really up to WWE and how they see him. But he has earned this opportunity. He's put the work in. And if he does sign with them, I could not be happier for the man. And they're getting someone who I think can be a real asset to them on their roster. Eric Young is also gone from TNA. This one did surprise me because he felt like a TNA lifer at this point. But I guess there's no such thing as a TNA lifer. He did leave TNA many years ago. He signed with WWE. He had a run as the leader of Sanity in NXT in the black and gold days. And then on the main roster, where Vince McMahon was clearly not a fan of theirs. Vince McMahon was clearly not a fan of Sanity. Boy, is that true. Even after that on Raw, they kind of had him in a singles role there for a while. I would say if Eric Young worked half a dozen matches on Raw in his life, I would be stunned. And then he was let go as part of their COVID cuts in 2020. Now, he came back to WWE in 2022 after Vince McMahon left the company, but never actually wrestled for them. He never even left his house. He signed with them. He was officially under contract with them. But if you go look up what Eric Young matches did we see in 2022, you're not going to find any. He was supposed to work with Bray Wyatt. And the idea was to be, I think, Bray, Bo, and EY as a trio. That's what Triple H sold it to him as. This is what we're going to do. This is the plan. But it never happened. Then, of course, Vince McMahon forced his way back into the company and onto the board, and he didn't want to work for Vince. So he requested his release. And he had to sign an NDA before they would give it to him. Add that to the pile of NDAs with this company, I guess. But this was even before the Janelle Grant stuff came out. He said he couldn't work for someone like that. Morally, he said he could not work for a human being like that. And kudos to him for standing on his beliefs. You know, him and Mick Foley. They gave up guaranteed money when they didn't have to because they felt a certain way. It wasn't just lip service with those guys, so respect for that. Fightful is reporting that Eric Young requested his release from TNA, and WWE sources expect him to return as he has long had a good relationship with Triple H, and the door has always been open for him to come back. Now, if you're wondering what Young thinks of Triple H, he once said that he would help him hide a dead body if he asked him to. No wonder Triple H wants him back. See, those types of ride or die are hard to find. You know, when he worked as a producer for them last time, It was only because Triple H asked him to. He did that for, I think, what did he say, 16 weeks? And they wanted him to do it full time. He turned it down because he still wanted to wrestle. And they told him, if you want the job at any point, just say the word, it's yours. This doesn't sound like a producer role per se, but per Brian Alvarez, he's expected to work in NXT as a player coach. Although he is not expected to start with them right away, not until September, is what Meltzer is saying. Young posted on X, amid all the rumors this week, he said, the internet is effing wild. 3 things to know about the news today. Number 1, I asked for my release, and they granted it. Number 2, I was never on a handshake deal. I have had a binding contract the entire time. And number 3, I will work where I want, how I want, and for whom I want. My track record, resume, accolades, and reputation are proof of that. See you soon. Speaking of TNA, Road Dogg Brian James, he was backstage at Slammiversary last weekend. He was not present at their television tapings in Albany, New York on Wednesday or Thursday. The two sides are said to still be working out a deal for him to join the creative team, which he is still expected to join. That is still expected to happen. It just hasn't happened yet. Just working out all the fine details, I guess, of the kibbles and bits that they're going to be paying him. Their next tapings are in Philly, July 30th and 31st. Which will build to their lockdown pay-per-view on August 23rd. So you would think that they would want to have a deal done before those tapings to make sure that he could have a hand in those shows. Otherwise, we're not really going to get a sense of what a dreamerless TNA is going to look like until the end of next month. And Big Bill has given notice that he will be leaving AEW at the end of his deal, which, if that has not already happened, it will be happening very shortly. It will over the next week or so. If he's not already gone, he will be gone. And that comes per Fightful, which says that WWE is expected to pick up both he and Enzo Amore for a reunion. As of mid-June, Enzo had still not yet signed with WWE because the company was waiting for Bill to be free and clear, which I love. Just translated, it means they had no interest in Enzo Amore without being able to put the two of them back together. Which hey, that makes sense to me. That was when he was at his most over. I still feel like long-term, the better play here is not Enzo as a wrestler. The better play here is Enzo as a manager for Big Bill, not his tag team partner. I understand them wanting to bring them back initially as a team because that's what they were before, and they're going to be super over at the very beginning. You put Bill in a tag team, though, you're putting a ceiling on him before he even starts. It's going to be the learning tree all over again, only more over. Him and Brian Keith, they were stuck in a tag team in AEW because Tony Khan didn't have any other ideas on what to do with Big Bill. A Cass and Enzo reunion will be a big hit for a little while. But the reality then will set in very quickly that they're in a dead-end spot in a dead-end division. Unless WWE had a genuine plan to revamp its tag team division, and I don't just mean adding one team or two teams. Oh, look, we got Cass and Enzo back. Oh, my goodness, this is amazing. Tag team rebirth in WWE. No. Adding 1 or 2 new teams is not going to be enough. That entire division needs to be gutted and renovated from the inside out. Failing that, this is not going to last. And I think it limits Bill's potential as a single star for them if this is all that they plan on doing with him.